Today's video clip, very interesting video clip, I hope, for everybody out there, answers a few questions. Number one, can we do some basic kakie for beginners? Number two, can I do some bunkai for Naifunchin that works in a nice practical way? Because this is from a supplementary kata for my dojo, I've decided to jump right into the deep underbelly of the kata and do it with kakie instead. So a request from my friend at Dynamic Karate was to do a little bit of kakie, and request from lots of people on our Naifunchin video was to do bunkai of Naifunchin. So going to start off with a kakie section, quite short, sweet, simple, and then from there as I go I will build on. So kakie, sticky hands or pushing hands, often practiced by a lot of Goju practitioners. It has a couple of different ways of being done. So we're going to start with number one, taking stance, sanchin dachi. One hand receiving, other hand being used as the hand that's doing the work. Now, first path, direct. So hand is turned. As you go forward, the hand turns, keeping the elbow in. Next path, up, down, up, down, up, down. Third path, circular, out, round, in, out, round, in. And then obviously this one can be done the other way around. But we find that most of the time, under heavy shoulder work, lots of kakie, people start to stop going direct, start to cheat, they start to push up to try and break the person's strength and to change the angle. The difference in, if my power is coming forward and backwards, if I've got strength forward and backwards, I have nothing laterally. And the same thing applies vertically. I can have all directional strength going forward and back, I have nothing this way. So when somebody is incredibly strong here, the easiest way to redirect them is to take them around or to take them up. Okay, so let us get on with some of the ideas. I'm going to bring in Brian, our okay. I'm receiving, palm up, hand on the solar plexus, and I'm going to start by just turning my hand, and as I do so, Brian's turning and he receives. So the idea is to keep the elbow in and the hand turning as you go. This is number one, direct. Number two, up and down. And again, we don't want to let the elbow drift out. Up, down, up, down, up. Okay, number three, we're going to go round and in. And now you want to start using your hip. And this one needs to be the softest with the least amount of power but the most fluidity. General concept of kakie is to work on this. Now this was stationary, then we can build in the most basic movement, forward, back, and that when I'm doing that I'm using one foot. Then we can, like kendo, we can move both feet. All right, and this is a little bit of coordination between yourself and your partner, and you basically do kakie around the dojo. And you're moving, and the idea is to destabilize your partner. It's no longer an exercise of conditioning and building shoulder strength, which a lot of people just do kakie for, but it starts becoming an idea of moving around so that you understand the distancing and timing, as well as getting the fundamental points that you need for good fighting. I once had an instructor who said to me, the bridge from kata and bunkai to kumite is kakie. And without Kakie, you do not have this bridging tool to understand distancing and timing. Without it, there is nothing, especially in the idea of how the Goju world close proximity fighting works. We've tried different things, and you watch how many of the videos we have got this very neat, tidy, picture-perfect bunkai. And that is very, very different to the reality of real combat. So if you want to bridge through, you need to have Kakie. Now, by no means are those three exercises the only exercises that exist in some kind of sticky hand or pushing hand kind of like exercises. You could have basic pommeling that you see the grapplers do, where they pommel and try and find the inside line, looking towards getting behind the other person's guard and getting a hand on the back. It's a form of sticky hands. You can be moving each other's hands around with two hands and moving. But the most important thing is, how do you actively engage at a point of contact? Goju karate people, like all karate people, took this from other martial arts, and more than likely took it from a series of Chinese martial arts that actively utilize it, like Wing Chun. So we're building on what we've shown now as our starting point for some bunkai with Naifunchin. 1, 2, 3. Opening movements. Watch again. 1, 2, 3. Whether you utilize kick or not, it's up to you. And so you're starting with this idea, and the first thing is pull, step through, leg trap, hand. Okay? This idea of pulling, very similar to kicks at a itch, but the hand, the leg. And we carry on. We've used their hand as the pushing mechanism, as the attack, and we're grabbing and we're pulling against it. So we've covered up to literally the first couple of movements. Then we're going to go across. We're going to do block, or double block, whichever one you choose to use. I'm more than likely going to do this. Uppercut, and maybe 1, 2. Not much happens there, but that can happen. 1, 2. Okay, we do this one again. Same idea. Okay. Out, in. Slightly different. This is almost a little bit different. Okay, our second idea for Kakie is that from the Kakie position, their other hand, their other arm can become part of what you're doing. And in Naifunchin, this is pretty cool because it allows us to bring a little bit more crossing over, a little bit more intercepting, and a few other ideas of grabbing. So our first movement, I'm going to pull with this hand. He's going to punch with that hand. I'm going to intercept, up. I'm going to step through, pull, and attack through the center. Okay? So pull. As I do this, that hand's coming. Nice target is my face. So I'm going to intercept, grab, bring this hand through, and literally take my first step into him, pulling, attacking. If I want to add the kick, as I do this, straight kick, through. For more practicality, I'm going to twist this way. So as he pushes, I'm going to take my whole body and twist it here. Obviously, I'm down, so this hand is coming this way around. Now, I'm very close. I'm going to switch to a knee and around. So I do this. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Grab his head. Bring him down. Shoulder, arm, clear. Still sticking. Still sticking. Okay? Arms are out. Carry on. A little bit late, earlier in the kata. Both. Form, hit, hit. Through. Okay. This movement this way. Through, like pommeling. Through. Again, helps with, leads you to hip throw. Okay, so a couple of ideas. If the person is adding a punch and working off the punch, then you can just build on it. Let's try a kick. Let's try a hook. Let's try elbow. And your exploration then takes you into the underbelly of the kata. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you to Brian, the uke or dechi, who assists me and helps me with all these little bits. And to my wife, Sensei Zoe, who does all the editing and will sit probably for 7 or 8 hours making this into something fantastic. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. And hopefully for all of those of you who asked for the bunkai, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. See you again. Sayonara.